After a series of natural and man-made disasters, civilization was wiped out. Without electricity or resources, the world had to start again, and the survivors returned to the fields to forage. 500 years later, 6 men and women evolved their feudal society by owning and trading resources, earning their titles as barons. The ancient North American states are now a territory known as the Badlands, divided into 7 regions with a baron and a different resource for each. To protect their homes, the barons have recruited fighters called clippers, who fight with bladed weapons as firearms have been banned due to their lethality. A clipper called Sonny drives his motorcycle across a large field, only to stop when he notices a pile of human bodies and a wrecked truck on the side of the road. Examining the body, he discovers broken chains, meaning someone has escaped. Then he uses a spyglass and notices smoke coming from the forest, so he rushes in and meets a group of nomad campers. Sonny asks them what he saw, pointing out that the cargo belonged to his baron. The nomads say they know nothing, but Sonny can see they have a sophisticated crate and calls them over. Then a man attacks Sonny, but he can't land a single shot and Sonny easily kills him. Furious, the others surround Sonny and attack him at the same time, but Sonny's martial arts skills are exceptional and he fights back, all without breaking a sweat, killing them one by one until there's no one left. Then Sonny finds gold coins with butterfly emblems. When he opens the door, a teenager named MK jumps out and tries to escape. Sonny uses Bolus to capture him and knock him out. Moments later, MK wakes up to see Sonny burying all the bodies. After MK explains to Sonny that the widow has paid the nomads to capture him, Sonny asks him to help her finish the grave. Later the duo arrive at the ford, where Sonny shows MK the children being trained to become foals. Then they attend a lecture by Baron Quinn, who reminds the trainees that religion is false and that only he will feed them, not God. Quinn orders Sonny to remove his shirt, revealing numerous tattoos. His back, which represents every murder Sonny has ever done for him. After the conference, Sonny tells Quinn and his son Ryder about what happened, but MK has no idea why the widow wants him. Ryder wants to counterattack, but Quinn and Sonny refuse to start a war. Later MK is sent to the pit with the other boys, where Ajax disturbs him and steals his necklace. MK immediately jumps on him and starts a fight, so Sonny comes to separate them. He takes Ajax's necklace and is shocked to see the symbol of a metropolis, unaware that Ryder has noticed his reaction. Later, Sonny returns to his cabin and searches for a compass with exactly the same symbol as MK's. A flashback reveals that he took the compass from a child who died when he was young. Just then, Ryder arrives and takes the necklace. In the evening, Sonny sneaks off to another village to meet her lover Vale, who works as a doctor. After doing some naughty things, Vale continues to teach Sonny how to read, but also reveals a surprise: she's pregnant. However, Sonny tells her to get rid of it, because bringing a baby into the Badlands would be neither wise nor safe. As Vale tries to change her mind with stories of safe places outside the Badlands, Sonny ignores her and leaves. Back at the ford, MK is suddenly attacked by Ajax, whose attack causes MK's mouth to bleed. The sight of his own blood makes MK's eye blacken and move rapidly, throwing Ajax into a mirror. As the mirror shatters, MK catches a falling shard and throws it at Ajax's eye, which is seen by Sonny. Then MK faints, so Sonny takes him to his cabin. When MK wakes up, he admits that the effect happens every time he bleeds, but he doesn't know what knows. It's been happening since he was a child, and that's why he and his mother had to flee. They were looking for a doctor to treat him, but they were captured by the nomads and separated. Sonny shows him his compass and MK recognizes it as his home Azra, a city outside the Badlands that proves the legend right. MK wants his necklace, but Sonny says Ryder has it and sends MK to the barracks. Afterwards, Sonny runs to talk to Vale D'Azra, but changes his mind just outside his door. On the way back, he notices a car nearby and suddenly finds himself surrounded by a group of warriors who attack him at the same time. Once again, Sonny proves he's the best and fights them all off without a hitch, moving all over the street, even climbing onto the car to keep control of the fight. One by one, all the guys are killed until the only person left is the one in the car, who turns out to be the widow. She asks Sunny about MK, and after he refuses to help her, she leaves. Back at MK, he sneaks into Ryder's room to retrieve her necklace, but Ryder catches him red-handed and takes it back as he aggressively pushes MK against the wall. At this point, Lydia enters and is shocked to see the pattern on the necklace. Then MK is imprisoned with an execution sentence. Sunny visits him to ask why he took the risk, so MK explains that it's his mother's only memento and asks Sunny to give it to him and bid him farewell if he ever finds her again. Seeing the boy depressed, Sunny feels bad for him and decides to set him free. He helps him escape through an underground tunnel that leads him out of the ford, unaware that Lydia sees everything. In the evening, Ryder gets down and dirty with Jade, his father's third wife-to-be. In a bar, the widow approaches her former regent, who grabs his sword only to be quickly disarmed. She's there to discuss politics, but just then, she notices an assassin lurking nearby. The guy throws a biface at her, but she dodges it and kills her former regent instead. Then the widow starts fighting all the assassins in the room, expertly killing them all in seconds with her daggers. When only bodies remain inside the bar, the widow interrogates a survivor and learns that they were sent by Ryder. The next day, MK continues to run through a forest, where he finds a pile of pillars with a butterfly logo on top of them. Just then, he hears a noise and hides to watch Tilda hunt with great skill. Suddenly she appears behind him and accuses him of espionage. Yet she takes pity on him when he explains that he has lost his farming family to the nomads. Tilda shares some food with him, and MK notices her shuriken are shaped like butterflies. Just then, they hear dogs barking, part of a search led by Ryder and Sunny. Fortunately, Tilda takes MK with her into widow territory, and the search party can't follow them there without making it look like an act of war. When they arrive at the widow's ford, MK learns that Tilda is the widow's daughter. MK is sent for a bath, and the widow takes the opportunity to question him, pointing out that he's lying about being a farmer. She asks him about a boy with a necklace and shows him a photo of Azra, but MK pretends he knows nothing. Later, 3 nomads come to see the widow but refuse to join her. Because they're afraid of Quinn, the widow proposes a deal. If Tilda succeeds in eliminating one of her men, they must join her. The nomads agree, but if they win, they'll keep Tilda. A fight ensues between Tilda and one of the nomads, but it takes her only a few moves to easily kill him, who is seen by a hidden MK. Next, the widow tells Tilda to fight MK and draw blood, in the hope of proving that he's the guy she's looking for. MK is told that his training must begin and is left alone with Tilda, who immediately attacks him and holds him at knife point. She asks about the forest, and he swears desperately that he was only looking for his mother. Pitying him, Tilda uses her own blood to stain MK's cheek and tells him to pretend he's hurt. MK cries out in mock pain and leaves while the widow watches from afar. Meanwhile, Sunny accompanies Quinn to a doctor who happens to be Vale's father. In private, the doctor informs Quinn that he has a brain tumor and will only live until the winter solstice. Quinn asks him not to tell anyone, and on his way out, orders Sunny to kill the doctor and his wife. Sunny refuses, saying they're not enemies, so Quinn grabs his sword and rushes inside to do it himself. Then Quinn orders Sunny to burn them in the house and the bodies. That evening, Sunny visits the grieving Vale and tells him that Quinn killed his parents. He suspects Quinn is ill and is afraid anyone will find out. So Sunny promises to protect Vale and the baby, saying he'll get them out of the badlands. In a small town, Ryder hires a mean worker Angelica and notices she has a stem block from her father. He starts by hurting her until she confesses that she got it from the nomads, who have a full turbine power plant. Outside, a woman spots a sign left by Angelique. In the middle of the night, MK tells Tilda that he must escape. They enter the office in search of a hidden passage to the woods, but hear the widow and the nomads coming. Tilda kisses MK to give the impression that they were having fun, and the widow announces that MK is no longer welcome. As the nomads take MK away, the widow is informed that Ryder has taken the bait. On the way out, the nomad chief reveals a wanted sign and hits MK before putting him in his car. The next day, Ryder and Sunny explore the turbine station, where a car drops off a group of nomads. As the duo enter the station, MK wakes up in the trunk of the car and uses a butterfly shuriken given to him by Tilda to cut the ropes. Inside, Ryder and Sunny check the boxes and find them empty, only to be surrounded by nomads who announce they've been sent by the widow. Ryder is immediately caught in chains and begins to choke until he passes out while Sunny fights off the nomads. There's a whole army of them, but Sunny is always faster, stronger, and better trained, so it's incredibly easy for him to use the station to his advantage and make quick jumps to kill them all in seconds. Then he cuts the chain to free Ryder, only to be surprised from behind by the nomadic leader. Sunny is about to die when suddenly MK appears and kills the last nomad. Then MK announces that he knows a way out of the badlands, but Sunny can't leave because Quinn would kill him. Instead, he decides to train MK to protect Vale and take him to Azra. After Ryder is taken to the doctor, Quinn sees MK and tries to smother him, but Sunny explains that MK saved them and wants him as his apprentice. Quinn accepts after telling MK that he must kill in his name and be faithful, and he also declares war on the widow. A day later, Quinn leads a group of Colts to invade the widow's territory. Sunny tells the students staying behind as lookouts, while he and the main army burst into the ford and kill most of the soldiers, easily felling them with swift blows from their blades. MK ignores Sunny's orders and sneaks inside to steal a book with Ezra's logo. Just then he hears noises and hides as he watches Tilda escape with the apprentices. MK calls her name, but she ignores him and runs off. Meanwhile, Quinn finds the widow and begins to fight her as the two warriors deftly use their blades in a deadly dance. Eventually, Quinn manages to take the widow down, but just as he's about to kill, he gets a headache and collapses. The widow intends to kill him, but Sunny finds her and she escapes through the secret passage inside the house that Sunny can't open. After it's all over, MK shows Sunny the book, but Sunny is angry at the disobedience and hides it. As punishment, Sunny makes MK stand at the edge of their training pit and pushes him to make him feel the fall. Then Sunny takes him to meet former Regent Waldo and asks him to fight him as a lesson. MK is skeptical because Waldo is in a wheelchair, but Waldo is fast and strong enough to defeat him with his arms. When MK finally surrenders, Waldo reminds her to see beyond the obvious. On the widow's territory, she and her students go to an old house that can serve as a refuge. The widow then orders Tilda to fetch Angelica before Sunny joins her. Meanwhile, Vale is brought to the ford to take care of Ryder. Lydia is skeptical about the bone cutter, but Vale explains that Ryder's brain is swollen, and if she doesn't do something, he'll die overnight. The operation is successful and Ryder soon regains consciousness, so Quinn immediately asks who set him up. Once Ryder explains, Sunny is sent to find Angelica. Moments later, Sunny and MK arrive in town, and Sunny tells MK to wait outside while he hunts for Angelica. Just then, Tilda arrives and slaps MK's face before arguing about everyone's loyalties. Inside, Sunny knocks out Angelica's customer as she grabs her sword to attack, wounding Sunny in the chest. A fight ensues and Sunny quickly dominates it, demanding to know where to find the widow. Angelica pushes him away and jumps out of the window, so Sunny starts chasing her across the balconies until he blocks her path and restarts the fight. Unable to win, Angelica decides to self-suppress. Seeing this, MK tells Tilda to run away. Afterwards, they go to Vale's house so she can stitch up Sunny's wound, and MK becomes curious when he realizes Vale can read. Later, Quinn tells Sunny that her attack on Vale has shaken the other barons and they want to parley. Quinn wants to form an alliance with Baron Jacoby and asks Sunny to arrange a meeting. After Sunny leaves, MK sneaks into her room to retrieve the book. In the evening, Sunny meets Zephyr, who tells her that the other barons are preparing for war, and he could prevent it by killing Quinn. Sunny is loyal and refuses, so Zephyr says she'll try to get him that meeting, but makes no promises. Later, MK visits Vale and asks her to read the book, but she doesn't recognize the language. Just then, someone enters, so MK rushes off to hide. The visitor is Quinn, who asks Vale to save him as she saved Ryder. Vale gives him a concoction that might weaken him, but also slow the growth of the tumor. Sometime later, Tilda runs through a forest covered in blood, posing as a woman in trouble. She stops a car on the road, and when the guys get out to help her, the widow and the other girls kill them. Tilda checks the back of the car and finds a pile of gold, while the widow retrieves a pickaxe from a dead man. The widow's daughters catch a foal trying to escape during the invasion, and now the widow uses the pickaxe to cut off its head. In the evening, Sonny watches MK train his form on a fighting dummy. Suddenly MK pulls out a knife and considers activating his hidden power, but decides against it. In the morning, Sonny takes MK to the middle of nowhere and cuts off his arm, saying they need to understand this power. MK's eyes immediately turn black and, in one fell swoop, he knocks Sonny unconscious. When they wake up, Sonny tells him that when this happens again, MK must concentrate on a safe or pure point within himself as a memory. At the ford, Quinn receives the dead Clipper's head with the word "speak" on its forehead. Inside is a note from Jacoby accusing him of attacking his gold transport. Quinn asks Ryder to come out and agree to parley. However, when Ryder meets Zephyr, he makes his own proposal. Sometime later, Sonny goes to see Vale and finds her talking to MK about the book. He's upset to learn that they've been working together to understand the text, as it means that MK doesn't really know how to get out of the badlands. After MK leaves, Vale talks to Sonny about Quinn's tumor. Meanwhile, Jade breaks up with Ryder because she has to get ready for the wedding. So a furious Ryder calls her naive for thinking Quinn's second wife died naturally and says she's in danger. Jade goes to talk to a maid, who explains that before the second wife died, she saw Lydia picking up poisonous flowers. The next day, Sonny chooses 6 apprentices to come to the talks and MK gets angry that he's only chosen. When Quinn and his group arrive at the City of the Dead, Sonny detects someone nearby and catches him, but suddenly it was MK. He scolds him and makes him stand guard while they go to the meeting. Zephyr brings out Baron Jacoby, who doesn't believe Quinn when he says the widow is behind it. Just then, MK sees Tilda arrive and throw a pickaxe, so she warns Sonny just inside. It's time to stop her from killing Quinn. Then Jacoby and Quinn's men start fighting as Sonny pursues them. After Tilda, only to be suddenly stopped by Zephyr. As they begin to fight, MK goes after Tilda and begins to fight her too. They exchange a few blows before Tilda runs off and throws a butterfly shuriken at him, making him bleed and activating his power. In desperation, Tilda throws a vase at him, but it does nothing, and then MK grabs her by the neck and throws her against the wall. Tilda manages to dodge his attacks and calls out his name, drawing him out before he passes out. Then she notices Sonny watching them, so she throws another shuriken to distract him and runs off. Meanwhile, most of the soldiers have died in battle, and now Jacoby and Quinn are about to duel. Zephyr comes to help but is interrupted by Sonny, who presents Tilda's shuriken to prove that the widow has manipulated them. Jacoby tells Quinn that he's the one who got on the widow's bad side, so if he wants the other barons to calm down, she must be dealt with. When Quinn's group returns to the ford, they're devastated to discover that the widow and her army have killed all the Clippers. A surviving maid explains that the apprentices have all been bribed with gold. Quinn orders Sonny to bring the widow to him for revenge. Meanwhile, Zephyr promises Ryder to take him to Jacoby, but takes him to see the widow because Zephyr has been a worker for her all along. The widow offers Ryder to help her get his father's job and Zephyr to get Jacoby if they get his MK. In return, Ryder, tired of his father not believing in him, agrees to the deal. Sometime later, Sonny goes to the docks and uses a gift from Waldo to get an audience with the River King. Sonny wants a way out of the Badlandses, and he owes the favor to Waldo, not Sonny, so he proposes a new deal. He explains that he had a shipment of 28 apprentices arrive, but one of them killed all the others, so he wants the boy back in exchange for safe passage for Sonny. When he shows him the photo, Sonny is surprised to see MK. On his return to the ford, Sonny continues to train MK and keeps him on board, asking questions about the dead in the boat and whether he knows the way to Azra. Suddenly, MK's eyes turn black and push Sonny off the edge first, only for Sonny to wake up from the nightmare. He's at Vale's and takes the chance to look at the book, only to discover that his compass fits perfectly into a hole in the pages, making the arrows move. Meanwhile, Vale takes in the many boys she has freed from Quinn's yoke since the ford, promising a better life. However, she also cuts off their hands trying to find the boy with the secret power, but no one reacts. At Quinn's ford, Ryder meets Waldo to show him the necklace, and Waldo tells him to look for his grandfather, as he may know something about it. Quinn tries to talk to the new recruits, but he's starting to get an unbearable headache, so he heads back inside. Vale comes to give him the medicine, and Quinn tells him that he didn't kill his parents, that Sonny did. Later, Ryder visits his grandfather Penrith. On seeing the necklace, Penrith explains that it comes from Uzra, a place that exists only in stories. After Ryder leaves, Penrith tells a cleric to inform the apostles in the ford that there's an obscure there. The next day, Sonny takes 3 warriors, including MK, into the forest to search for clues to find the widow. MK finds a butterfly shuriken and tries to catch it, but Sonny stops him and pokes him with a stick, triggering an immediate trap. Then Sonny leaps into the air and kicks a large tree branch, activating all the other traps in the area. Just then, they hear a scream and discover that another warrior has fallen into a trap. Sonny immediately frees him, but the guy can't help with his injured leg. When night falls, the group stops to camp and Sonny orders MK to be on first watch. While the others sleep, Tilda secretly approaches MK to warn him that the widow suspects he's the boy with the power, and that the more he uses that power, the weaker he'll become. In fact, using too much power will eventually kill him. Tilda advises MK to escape because everyone just wants to use him for power, from the widow to Sonny himself. Suddenly, Sonny appears behind her and knocks her down to capture her. MK tries to explain that it was thanks to Tilda that he was able to control his power the other day at the cemetery, but Sonny insists on questioning him about the widow's whereabouts. Apprentice Bale insults her to get her to talk, so Tilda bites his ear. As Tilda refuses to talk, Sonny decides to take her to the ford. In the morning, the widow and her warriors arrive and find Tilda's dagger with a blue cloth on it, stuck to a tree. Furious, the widow orders a warrior to send a message to her spy in the ford to plan a rescue. At the ford, Jade brings Quinn some food, but when they're doing the things of love, Jade suddenly falls and has a seizure. In the dungeons, Sonny asks Tilda to tell him where the widow is hiding, saying he doesn't want to hurt her. Just then, the widow appears and knocks MK down with her whip. Sonny immediately attacks her, and a battle ensues as they cross blades all over the dungeon. When Sonny kicks the widow through a wall, they find themselves in an armory, where they use every weapon at their disposal to continue the fight. After using dozens of weapons and even a torch, Sonny finally manages to overpower the widow and seriously injures her. Meanwhile, MK frees Tilda, only to be suddenly eliminated by Bale. Tilda kicks Bale in return, but he throws dirt in her eyes, allowing him to grab her by the hair and start beating her. When MK wakes up, Bale makes sure to lock up the cell so he can't interrupt his revenge for the bite. Desperate to help Tilda, MK retrenches the sword and slices off his hand, looking at his own blood to activate his power. An angry MK pushes Bale against a wall lined with traps. Sound interrupts Sonny when he's about to kill the widow, and they watch in shock as Bale dies while landing on spikes. Seeing MK out of control, Sonny rushes to his side, but the boy faints. Using this distraction, Tilda and the widow flee. Sonny follows them through a hidden tunnel, but by the time he emerges, they're gone. In the dungeons, it is revealed that Quinn has seen everything. The next day, Sonny goes to see the River King again and presents him with Bale's head, claiming it's M-Case, and the River King believes him, so he tells Sonny to come with his friends exactly at midnight, or they'll be left behind, because time waits for no one. Then Sonny goes to Vale's clinic and says they have to leave tonight, but Vale says she's not ready because she's taking care of Jade, the Baron's future wife. Sonny tells him that if he goes today, he won't be able to get her out. Vale asks him if he killed his parents, and when Sonny reminds him it was Quinn, Vale gets angry because he didn't do anything to stop him. She doesn't know if she wants to escape with him and says she'll think about it. Meanwhile, one of Penrith's men goes to an old cathedral to meet 3 monks. He tells them that Penrith has found a dark one and shows them the wanted notice. The monks go to their car with a box and set off to investigate. At the ford, Lydia tends to Jade, only to be interrupted by a furious Quinn. He's sure Lydia poisoned Jade and ordered her to leave the ford, not believing her when she did so says she's innocent. Afterwards, the Clippers escort Lydia out of the ford and Ryder approaches her to join her, returning her religious icons and also saying goodbye. However, Lydia tells him that he won't be able to spend a day without her before he leaves. Finally, Lydia arrives at her father's and asks for redemption, as she shows the icons to prove she hasn't forgotten her roots. Penrith makes her swear that she'll give up all her worldly possessions and never leave again, then takes her to the frog pond for a cleansing ritual. After a few seconds underwater, Lydia arrives outside and Penrith hugs her to welcome her back. In town, Vale is suddenly captured and taken to see the widow so that she can treat his wound. Vale gives her some medicine and begins to work on the injured area. When she has finished, Vale leaves 3 small bottles with the widow, explaining that 2 of them contain poison while the third is medicine. Vale will only say which is the good one after she has been safely escorted back to her clinic. The widow tells Tilda to take Vale home, and Tilda blindfolds her to do so. On their return to town, Vale tells Tilda that the blue bottle is the medicine and that her mother shouldn't force young girls to fight for their cause. So Tilda now has the power to choose whether or not to save her. Back at Quinn, he confronts Sunny and accuses her of being the widow's spy as the other Clippers surround her. He hands Sunny with his sword and sends him to the dungeon, where he is chained to the bars. Then Quinn calls MK and tells him that if he does everything he says, he will spare Sunny and bring Tilda to the ford for protection. Knowing that MK hasn't been with a woman, Quinn offers to take him to the naughty house, where he can practice so as not to disappoint Tilda later. Later, Waldo tries to visit Sunny, and a lawnmower says it's forbidden, so Waldo punches him in the groin to make him fall and then break his neck. Afterwards, Waldo frees Sunny and tells her to escape before the widow attacks, making Sunny realize that he is the widow's spy. Before Sunny leaves, Waldo gives her a necklace that he found on Sunny's neck when he found her as a child, and Sunny is shocked to see that it is the same as MK's. In town, MK realizes that something is wrong because there is no one around. Quinn senses it too and tells the hidden men to come out. He is not surprised to see Jacoby and Zephyr are out, but he is devastated to see that his own son has joined them. A desperate Quinn slashes MK on the right shoulder and hides as MK's eyes turn black. Jacoby tries to attack MK, but the boy easily overpowers him and throws him into a building. Meanwhile, Quinn runs into Sunny, who immediately stabs him with her sword. On the street, Jacoby's men are overpowered and killed by MK, who is also about to kill Ryder. Sunny stops him just in time, but MK just pushes him while Ryder runs away. Then Zephyr tries to hold on to MK's legs, but he just grabs her by the hair and throws her. At this point, the 3 monks arrive and begin to fight MK, using very precise strikes to hit the boy's pressure points in order to disable him. Sunny doesn't want them to leave with MK, so 2 monks start fighting him. The monks manage to hit Sunny several times, but he is still strong enough to keep up with them both, so the 3rd monk decides to fight Sunny next, throwing him against the car. Using his swords, Sunny quickly fights back and injures the monk, who returns to his friends and they concentrate together. Suddenly, all the lights go out into the street and the monk's eyes darken. They attack together and overpower Sunny, who refuses to give up and attacks again with her sword. The monks break his sword and attack him in perfect coordination, beating him up before throwing him into a building. Then the monks put MK in a box and leave while Sunny is found by a mysterious person. Later, when Vale arrives in town, he finds tons of bodies but no Sunny in sight besides his sword. In the morning, Sunny wakes up tied to a beam inside a ship. The River King appears with Vale's head because he knows the truth, so he tells Sunny that no one double-crosses him. Since he is not a killer, instead he will sell it outside the Badlands. Meanwhile, MK wakes up and realizes he is also being removed from the Badlands, but he is unable to open the box.